Yo, I've decided to challenge myself. I've got 30 days to make a game that will make people scream in terror. This is risky, sure, but horror is my weakness. I love the smell of wet sheets in the morning. I mean, not mine. I meant the players from Fear. Okay, cut that part! Horror is one of the most popular game genres. Indie developers are making millions of it. And they're doing it solo and fast. Some guy named Zekers made Little Company all by himself in just 4 months. Content Warning was made by a 5-person team in 3 months. And you think you can make something just as good in a month? Well, yeah. Can you even imagine how much work it is? Piece of cake. Just a bit of coding, a bit of horror, a couple of mental breakdowns, and my hit horror game is basically on Steam.
Давай, вошли и вышли. Приключения на 20 минут.
This is the Wave Warrior. I analyzed the trends and noticed that most horror games are slow and suffocating. I wanted something different. Dynamics, actions, drive. In other words, the feeling of meeting the last second of the deadline. There are tons of horror games on Steam, but they all are so stuffy.
Бу, испугался, не бойся.
So I decided to make a game where fear doesn't creep up on you. It rushes straight at you. Instead of hiding in closets and listening for footsteps, you run, make decisions, fight. This isn't hide-and-seek simulator, but a roguelike horror, where every run hits on you with a brand new challenge. The level consists in short but action-packed sections, like the biting of Isaac, but scarier. Every new sector gives a new anomaly, a new type of suspense. No breaks allowed. The player's main objective is to survive. Pass all the sectors without breaking, because the further you go, the worse it gets. Darker, scarier, crazier. What if I set the game in the SCP universe? Secure, Contain, Protect. One of the creepiest, most mysterious worlds on the internet, created by fans. It's a fictional organization that hides from humanity everything beyond the normal. Anomalous objects, dangerous creatures, and phenomena that break the laws of nature. Over the years, it evolved into a huge universe with thousands of stories, documents, and theories. Even Silent Hill doesn't have lore this big. And such a loyal community, almost unheard of. And there's only one thing SCP fans love more than creating new monsters: watching others be terrified of them! My game is set inside Site 13, a legendary complex designed to be the safety standard. But everything went wrong. Something inside caused a chain reaction of disasters. Anomalies went out of control, and most of staff died. Chaos is all that remains in these corridors now, and you among those who need to find a way out, or die like the others. In roguelike, the levels are generated randomly. To meet the deadline, I made a compromise. Instead of fully generating the first version of the game, I'll have 15 corridors and 30 rooms. They'll be combined in different ways to create the illusion of the endless complex. First, I made a blockout, a test version of the levels without details. A blockout is a level prototype used to test layout and navigation before adding details. It's like a sketch for an artist. To guide players where to go, I marked the doors using lights and numbers. Doors are crucial for navigation and objective setting. Doors leading to a new level must stand out visually in the environment to make players see where to go. Numbering doors doesn't just help with orientation, it strengthens the sense of progress. Every new number means you've cleared another step, creating a feeling of achievement. It helps players trace their success and motivates them to keep on exploring. But for now, they are just boxes with doors. If you just spam identical rooms, you'll get a boring office, not a creepy secret lab. Time to add atmosphere. To create a dark and suspenseful atmosphere, I've made a mood board. Mood board is a set of references that helps define atmosphere and style of the game. I drew inspiration from Control and Blame with their oppressive style. At the core, brutalism, cold concrete, strict geometry, no unnecessary details, plus elements and megastructures, endless technical corridors, repeating halls, and faceless architecture, as it was made not for humans. This way, the environment is not just a background, but a full part of horror. Got a cool idea for suitable refs? Share them on our Discord. There, we go over ideas, help each other with development, and create a truly chill community of soulmates. We really need you there. So grab the link in the description and welcome to the channel. Horror games work better when set in familiar environment. In a supermarket or office, players will be more scared than inside the intergalactic whale from Scorn. So I started with an office asset pack. Add some pipes, tangled wires, some retro tech, and raw concrete textures from Quixel. The main thing is to mix about 90% normal stuff and 10% crazy bits. Exactly. That's why I added floating objects, broken physics, wall cracks with infinite space behind, and architecture that change right before your eyes. And a bit of trash. The locations should look like people were just working here, and then something awful happened. The devil is in the details. Slightly moved furniture, spilled coffee, a dropped book, or unfinished food on a desk. Right lighting make all the difference. Flickering lamps, emergency lights, darkness around the corner. All designed to make players uneasy. Stranger Things inspired me to use the red light. It really boosted the sense of danger. Okay, I got it. Let's move on. Let's talk about the main thing, core mechanics. To speed up the development, I used the ready-made horror pack. It's a common practice among devs, using pre-built assets to save time. That helped me quickly add the main gameplay moments. Stealth system, looting, inventory, flashlight, and doors that can only be opened with the keycard. The key is to pick approved packs with an active community and a responsive creator. Speaking of doors, a good horror game is about fearing the unknown. Players shouldn't know what awaits behind the next door. That's why I added a dynamic threat system. The deeper the player goes, the more horror surrounds him. Threat level also increases over time. Monsters don't appear immediately. First, the game lets you relax a bit, but then things get wild! When you pass the peak of fear, the threat level goes down automatically to give players a break. Then it starts over. Such cycles don't let players adapt to fear. They either run or hide and pray. It's like a horror version of Dark Souls! Tough, but awesome! And what's Dark Souls without monsters? The monsters are the heart of the horror game. Without them, my game would be just a walking in the dark simulator. I asked my homie Colatsis to design and model the monsters. He is a genius at creepiness. Look, my approach is simple. Monsters must scare right away. For the first time, you don't analyze, you just feel you're scared. So I don't want to just copy standard SCPs. Actually, sometimes it's just impossible, because you'll face issues both legally and visually. But I really want to keep their original spirit, to make new players freak out and fans recognize them. The first monster is a classic, SCP-173. The situation with the statue is peculiar. The thing is, the artist behind the famous statue created something that everyone loves using in the SCP genre. So much. As long as our game is not humorous, but a kind of parody, we can't use the original. There were several ways to fulfill this task. The first was a full restructuring. This is what others do. They just take the statue, change the shape, alter it completely, and paint something that looks like a face. And they get a concrete structure that meets our initial needs. But I don't like that. This approach loses the original silhouette. If you keep the original silhouette, you have to be different using something else. So I choose content and functioning to alter the creature. But at the same time, I kept the creepy base created by the original artist. SCP-173 moves when you... It means playing your game is not
removed by the SCP.
Here we go, nice. People will learn how to play. SCP-173 is about the control. The second one is about chaos. SCP-745-B destroys everything on its way, leaving complete darkness behind. There was a following thing with 745. We needed a rushdown character. I guess you know this archetype. But there are no Euclidean creatures in the SCP Foundation universe. So we had to create a version of such. We choose this wonderful SCP-745 that chases cars with headlights. I thought as soon as no one saw their evolutional cycle. And it's important to the lore that no one saw their larvae. We can suppose no one saw them because they fly in the dark. So we decided to keep its forehead light, the way you can see it in the game. The third monster is SCP-303, a man behind the door. 303, a man behind the door, is a really interesting case. Originally, this is a fanged nasty dude who breathes menacingly and wants to kill everyone behind the door. I decided to go all in with the fangs and based the whole design on them. It has fangs on its arms and 3 rows of jaws, and every time it kills you, all you can see are its fangs on arms, legs, and everywhere else. I think this one is really awesome, and it's one of my favorite monsters. The mechanic of SCP-303 is that it appears in rooms with several doors, setting a trap for players. If players choose the wrong door, it's... Okay, enough talking, or you'll spoil the game. Together, these monsters make a cool trio. No chance to relax with these neighbors. Now we need to teach players how to survive around them. I've decided not to add tutorials. All learning is through experience. Players either learn from their deaths or, well, just die. Classic. One run and you run. Losing isn't a punishment, it's a part of learning. With every new start, players realize the world's logic and find best survival strategies. Players will learn the essentials on their own, and we'll help them. Well, the game is almost done, and I have a full week ahead. I only need to add one small detail. Multiplayer. 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 Multiplayer! I almost forgot that it's a cope horror. Well, it's not a big deal. We still have 7 days to go. Do you know what happens when people try to write the network code in a week? I'll manage it. Done. You've made multiplayer in a week? Yep. But what did it cost? Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button. There are even more awesome content ahead. I'll soon tell many cool things about the game development.